so excited to be back again this year working on monologues with young performers. My first impression, I'm so excited to have a guy to work with this year.
I've been so excited to meet Zakiya. I know all about her. I saw Little Mermaid, loved it.
It's awesome to have 4 enthusiastic, excited actors, and I really, as I said last year, I love to just remind people it's not just about the singing, and it's not just about doing a triple pirouette. If you are not connected to the story, why are people even there? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing worse than seeing a musical and you're like, they sound pretty, but you know, as soon as they started speaking, I just kind of tuned out because they didn't seem to care about the story they were telling. So my goal is to just start people thinking about it, you know, start thinking about the words you say and why you're saying it, to make the acting just as important as the singing and dancing. So I can't wait to see what the kids have for me, and we're going to play a couple games, loosen up, have some improvisation, and then we're really going to dig in. So I'm excited.
I'm so excited. Today we're going to be doing monologues with Zakiya. I'm doing it old school. I'm going back to Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream. I'm so excited to work on this. It's one of my favorite shows.
Shakespeare, go girl. Go girl.
I'm doing my monologue from Rent.
Wait a minute. Your monologue's from Rent?
Yeah, is that a problem?
No, but mine's from Rent.
Sweet!
First game is line repetition, okay? Now what this is basically taking a common phrase and we're going to make a scene out of it, okay? So you two are paired up and you two are paired up. Now the phrase is, I want it. I want it. Now I need you guys to just start improvising and use different tones of voice to basically form a story, okay? So just an inflection and intensity, you know, just play around with it and see what happens. And all you can say is, I want it.
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 Good. Now try it again and try using some different tactics.
I want it. I want it.
I want it.
I want it. I want it. I want it.
Yes. Good job.
It got really emotional. Yeah, I got like tense at the end.
Yeah, and you guys use totally different tactics, same words, but you know, you use different tactics to achieve your objective. So keep that in mind. Have a seat. Great job. Now you guys come on up. And your phrase is, you can't have it.
You can't have it.
You can't have it.
You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. Can't have it? You can't have it. 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 You can't have it.
Yes. Yes. Now what were you guys thinking about?
In my mind, it was like sibling rivalry, in a way. Like we were just like, no, you can't have it, and then they're like, yeah. When I like first did it, like I was thinking more of like I felt like a mom. I was like my little kid. Thanks.
You guys keep that eye contact, because especially when you're saying something like you can't have it, if I'm saying you can't have it, it kind of takes away from the intensity of what I'm saying.
You can't have it. 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 Oh, you can't have it. Ah, you can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it.
Great. Yes. We had some great stuff going on. You whispered at the end. That was nasty. Doing games is just an easy way to loosen people up. A lot of times we don't realize that we really are tense when it comes to doing scenes, especially as music theater actors. Usually the acting is the least developed part of our skill set, and it makes us uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable just standing and delivering lines. So, playing games just loosens you up, and it starts to get you in tune with listening, which we don't tend to do, and just being a part of the space and just opening yourself up to whatever's going to happen. What we're going to do is basically invent a story using one word each, and it has to make sense. And when the sentence is finished, somebody's going to say period, and then you're going to start with another sentence, okay?
Once.
A time.
There.
Was.
A girl.
Who.
Loved.
To dance.
Period.
Okay, let's start over. That so far so good though, yeah? All right, let's start over again.
Should I start it then?
Any way you want.
Okay.
Not the same sentence.
There.
Was.
Was a
Flower.
Who.
needed water.
Period.
Wait, the flowers a person? You have to, I want you guys to really start listening, because sometimes on stage, like it's live theater, anything can happen. So if someone goes up on their lines, you just kind of have to be there and go on that trip with them so the audience doesn't know. Trust me, it happens all the time.
2 miles.
Away.
There was
And.
Antelope.
who really
Light.
2.
dance on
Grass.
Period.
Awesome, that was a great example for so many reasons. Because sometimes you'll have stories that don't make sense to you. Like keeping it real, sometimes you read the script and you're like, I don't get it. But you just kind of have to make it work. Adrian Bailey, who is just a theater legend, when I was doing Little Mermaid, I had so many questions and I just did not understand certain things. And he pulled me aside, I'll never forget it, and he said, baby, make it work. Make it work. They don't care if you understand this. Make it work. And that's the best lesson that I could have received at that moment, because when you're in a big show and there are many parts, especially when you're in the ensemble, you're not always going to get every little beat that the principals are going to get. So if you can make big choices and commit to them, even if you're pretending that you are a lily pad and you have butterflies and you have to make a story out of just little chirps and notes, it's great if you can just do that, because you're not always going to get specific direction. So I'm glad that I saw that you were kind of like, what is this? But you just made it work. I want you to deliver every word as if it makes sense. This is the story we're telling, and I might feel stupid, but I'm telling it and I believe it. Okay? I want you to start, and we're going to go. Actually, let's go this way.
Last.
Night.
my cat.
Said.
Hello.
To my
Daughter.
Period.
That was awesome. I really believed your cat said hello to your daughter, and that you had a daughter.
And then there was a time that he walked up to a group of tourists and they were petrified because A, they were obviously lost, and B, they probably never met a drag queen in their lives. So much more original than any of us. Find an old tablecloth on the street and make a dress, and then next thing you know, they'll be mass producing it at the Gap. He always said how lucky we were that we were all friends. It was us, baby, with the lucky ones.
I like what you did with putting together your own monologue, because sometimes you just don't find material that really speaks to you. So tell me what this is about.
Well, this is about a friend's funeral that has passed away. I noticed someone who is very unique and very special to me, and so it's something that connects with.
So one thing I noticed is that, and I do this too, and I do, you stood like this. And I catch myself even doing it in the show that I'm doing. This is a tricky posture because it basically just closes you off from everything.
Yeah.
You want to just really take your space, you know, and because you don't want to get locked into this. It closes you off a little bit, you know. Really just, you know, let it hang. Own your space. Yeah. Now, and I also noticed you picked a spot up there and kind of spoke to it, which took me away from looking at you. Okay? It's very intimidating to look a person in the eyes and deliver a monologue, and it's kind of intimidating for the people behind the desk too. So if you can pick somewhere in that plane, like over their head, that's a really good practice to have. Take your time. We are in no hurry. When you're in an audition space, it is your time. You have, if it's an EPA or a chorus call, you do have a specific amount of time, but that is your time. Never rush through your material. That is the biggest mistake we all make because we get amped up and we're like, oh my gosh, am I what they want? No. You present everything that you have prepared and you take your space and you take your time. Stick on script, but I'm going to ask you questions and hopefully that will bring out some different colors to this speech. Yes, stick with your lines.
When you say questions?
I'm just going to interrupt you.
Angel was one of my closest friends. It was great that it was Halloween because it was her favorite holiday.
Yeah, I know.
I knew we hit it off the moment we met because, you know, that skinhead was bothering her and she said she was more of a man than he'd ever be and more of a woman than he'd ever get.
That's right.
And then there was this time that he walked up to a group of tourists and they were petrified because A, they were obviously lost, and B, they probably never met a drag queen in their lives. But she just offered to escort them out of Alphabet City, let them take a picture with her, and help them find the circle line.
That is so sweet, so sweet.
So much more original than any of us. You'd find an old tablecloth on the street, make a dress, and sure enough, they'll be mass producing them at the Gap. We always said how lucky we were that we were all friends. It was us, baby, who were the lucky ones.
That was really good. That really touched me. Did you guys feel that? I mean, and I can't fake cry. I'm the worst liar in the world. But that touched a part of me because I could tell who Angel was through the joy in your voice as you talked about him. And then I loved how after the mass producing them at the Gap, how you took a moment and I really felt like, gosh, yeah, you missed this person. That was such great work.
When I moved her through the last time I did my monologue, it was such a special feeling and it's crazy to think the change that can happen and the confidence that it can give you.
Like I said, I can't fake tears. I just can't. And there was something in that last time when she just really dug in and mourned her friend. Oh my gosh, it was like full body chills, tears. I love when the moments click like that.
As he errs, doting on Hermia's eyes, so I, admiring of his quality, I will go tell him of fair Hermia's flight. Then to the woods will he tomorrow night pursue her. Oh, and for this intelligence, if I have thanks, it is a dear expense, but herein mean I to enrich my pain, to have his sight thither and back again.
Usually in Shakespeare, the punctuation means you can take a breath. So a period, take a breath. A comma, take a short little breath. You know what I mean? So that it doesn't all run together.
Take breaths, lots of breaths. How happy some or other some can be.
Pause. Why are you smiling?
And I'm a smiling person.
Okay, but when you see your crush run off with somebody, it doesn't have to be angry. It could be shock, it could be hurt, it could be anything, but really picture that moment and be honest with it. Don't think about what I want to see. Really feel it.
Why did you ask me why I was smiling? I mean, I'm a happy person. I'm always a happy person. I was really nervous because, how happy some or other some can be. To Athens, I'm not as fair as she. What if that Demetrius thinks not so? He will not know what all that he do know, as he errs, doting on Hermia's eyes. So I, admiring of his qualities, things base and vile, folding no quantity. Love can transpose to form and dignity. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind. Therefore is winged Cupid painted blind.
I smile all the time, and it can get in the way of your acting. So seeing her stop smiling in a please like what I'm doing way and really just start to dig in deep, awesome.
So I'm doing a dramatic monologue from a really small British play called Keeping Tom Nice, and I chose it because it has a lot of, I think, substance to it, and you can really play around with the emotions.
You make me sick. You smooth the bed. You hang flowered wallpaper in his room. You still feed him mush when the doctor told you years ago to let him chew. I'm angry because you leave him in there while you go watch TV in there, because all he ever gets at Christmas is a pair of socks.
She came in, just ready to work.
Gosh, I have so much to do. I have to deal with your brother all day, and I'm just so tired of never having any help. No one is going to be able to handle him the way that I can. I am suffering so much. I never get any help, and all you do is just sit there and complain. I cannot deal with this anymore. I'm going to have a breakdown. I'm so stressed out right now.
Are you afraid that someone will be able to look after Tom as well as you do? Or better? Is that it? It is, isn't it? You want to be the only ones, the holy ones, dedicated angels. You make me sick. You smooth the bed. You hang flowered wallpaper in his room.
I'm going to stop you. You make me sick. Say it to me. Just say it to me a couple different times. Just interrupt.
You make me sick. You make me sick. You make me sick.
You're a really nice person, aren't you? Don't be afraid of being angry. And I'm not. I try to not be angry a lot, but you have to own that. When you say something like, you make me sick, I really need to feel because that is a really awful thing to say to somebody, especially your mother.
You make me sick. You smooth the bed. You hang flowered wallpaper in his room. You still feed him mush when the doctor told you years ago to let him chew. Most of all, I'm angry because you never, ever kiss him. I have never seen you kiss him, hold him, in all the years, never. Not now so much, not when he's grown, but then. I remember kissing him.
When you went into the section of most of all I'm angry because you never ever kiss him, that is such a strong section for you. You really dug deep in that section, and I really connected with that. And when you start to own your anger and allowing yourself to become angry in a scene, that is a boundary that you can shake off that can just take you so far in your acting.
Okay. We begin on Christmas Eve with me, Mark, and my roommate Roger. We lived in an industrial loft on the corner of 11th Street and Avenue B. It was once a music publishing factory. Old rock and roll posters hang on the wall. They have Roger's pictures on them advertising gigs at CBGB's and the Pyramid Club. We have an illegal wood-burning stove. Its exhaust pipe curls up to a skylight.
Your challenge with taking something directly from the show is not falling into the pattern of what you've seen or heard people do before. Because this is an iconic role, and you are perfect for it. Don't be afraid to move around as you're pointing things out. Almost like you're a tour guide.
CBG.
Yeah, very famous place. Google it if you're not familiar with it. Roger's picture advertising gigs at CBGB's is a big deal. He used to be incredible because these are awesome opportunities, and now he's living in a place with no power. CBGB.
Yeah.
So they are poor, they are artists, they're cold. They're when they're snaking the power, they're stealing power because they can't afford it. So you're really suffering for your art. But there seems to be an ironic joy in it.
Mm-hmm.
So play around with it. The 90s Alphabet City, grungy. Don't make a gesture unless it means something.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you questions now, start over. Or just really chew your words now,
Yeah.
really enunciate.
We begin on Christmas Eve with me, Mark, and my roommate Roger. We live in an industrial loft on the corner of 11th Street and Avenue B. It's the top floor of what was once a music publishing factory. Old rock and roll posters hang on the wall. They have Roger's pictures advertising gigs at CBGB's and the Pyramid Club. We have an illegal wood-burning stove. Its exhaust pipe goes up to a skylight. All of our electrical appliances are plugged into one thick extension cord which snakes its way out a window. Outside, a small tent city had sprung up in the lot next to our building. Inside, it's freezing because we have no heat.
I loved seeing him really just set up the room for us. I really did start to see the posters and the trash can and the, electrical cord where they're stealing people's power. He's gonna play that part someday, I'm sure of it. I just want to encourage you guys to keep working on the acting. Don't become distracted by the singing and the dancing. Give people a reason to want to be there, because you don't want to cheat any audience member out of the story. That is the worst thing you can do, okay? Be nice to everybody you work with, because the people that are doing the menial jobs, the so-called menial jobs, are tomorrow's producers and directors. You are never too good for any part. We are artists, and it is a blessing to do what we do.